Whew! This is a difficult movie to review. On the one hand, I'm super excited about this movie. I really want you to watch it. But on the other hand, I personally went in with rock bottom expectations. I thought this was going to be awful. I almost didn't review it. What happened was that I was like, hey, you have a Malignant screening? And Warner Brothers said, yeah, it's Thursday night at 7 o'clock before the movie releases and the embargo lifts at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I see they let a few critics go early, but for most of us, that's our embargo time. And I said, I don't want to risk it. If it's that close to release, I'll just watch it on HBO Max in the morning. And then they came back to me and they said, what if we gave you a screener? And I said, yeah, heck yeah. They said it'll be the same time the screening would be, but you can watch it in the safety of your home. And I was like, yeah, please, that would be wonderful. Thank you. So I got it tonight. I had some trouble making it work. I was in the critics. I was in the awards, the awards season app, not the press app, because I'm a Critics' Choice member too. So I finally got it working. I'd eaten half my dinner, thank goodness, because this movie is disgusting. And so I was like, I wish I hadn't eaten during the opening credits. And I shouldn't have eaten something so mushy. But I had Purdue chicken tenders. But anyway, I was like, all right, let's see this thing. And this thing I have to tell you, my overall reaction to this movie throughout was, what the heck am I watching? And it started out being like, what the heck am I watching? And it ended with, what the heck am I watching? Oh, wow. All right, so I'm going to try it. There's absolutely no spoilers whatsoever in this review. This is going to be fun. All right, watch me do the intricate dance of reviewing this movie without spoiling it, but yet still convincing you to watch it. All right, so I sure hope nobody spoils Malignant for you, which comes out today, both in theaters and on HBO Max. This is worth the $15. I would recommend staying off of social media and just keeping to yourself in general, because anyone who watches this movie is going to be like, hey, did you watch Malignant? Want to talk about that third act? There's a lot of crazy stuff throughout the whole movie. And they're going to be like, I got to tell someone. So just stay away from people. And then go to see it in a movie theater or stream it on HBO Max. Because a large part of the fun here is just how fucking nuts this movie is. Like, wow. I'm so impressed with James Wan that he decided to not only do this, but he pulled it off. Like, when it starts out, this movie is truly awful. Like, intentionally awful. You get that vibe. You're like, okay, the dialogue is bad, the acting is bad, Annabelle Wallis is wearing the most ridiculous wig, the sets seem weird, but it was very clear that these were choices that James Wan was making. You're like, why did you decide to make a bad movie? That's because he's setting up one of the most insane, campy horror films that I've ever seen. All he's missing is Vincent Price. It's nuts. And the movie has such a strong vibe. I mean, he's James Wan. What I like about James Wan, I think he's not only a good artistic director, but I think he has a great business mind as well, which is why the studios like him as particularly Warner Brothers, where he has his home. I think that's why they like him so much, and gave him. I mean, look how good he did with Furious 7 and Aquaman. But this is just waiting to turn into a Halloween maze and/or experience, and I would go. That's what the movie's like, too. It has that feeling of doing that. It's really fun. You can watch this by yourself. I watched it by myself, but I think it would also be a lot of fun with a group if the group was into it. They were willing to be open-minded. So again, the reason the embargo is so late, this is what I want to explain to you. The reason the embargo is so late, because it became clear to me, like usually an embargo is late because the movie's not good. So they're like, oh, let's try and hide reviews for as long as possible. But as soon as I saw the movie, and Warner Brothers confirmed this to me when I was talking, because I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. They don't want to spoil the twist. So they wanted as few people to see it as possible until the very last minute. They know the internet's going to ruin the twist. So they're just hoping to get as many people in there and surprise as many people as possible before the internet. I mean, I would think this will trend. I hope it does. I mean, I hope enough people give it a whirl. Maybe it'll trend on Saturday after a couple people on Friday are like, what the heck? You gotta watch this thing. So I think I've never seen anyone lift an embargo late to try and avoid spoilers. I think that's just so great. I know this is getting some bad reviews, and I heard some people in test screenings did not care for it. I can see that, but because it's just so nuts, and the movie is intentionally bad. But again, if you're open to this and you're like, okay, James Wan, what are you trying to do? I think you will have a very good time. I did. I had a great time. I mean, I think that they should have released this the week of Halloween because it's a fantastic Halloween movie. They should have been like, it's the week of Halloween, and everyone would be like, what? Where's this crazy movie? Let's watch it. But I think they were worried about Halloween Kills, which has now stumbled before it even got out of the gate. So we'll see how far Malignant can go. That's 2 months it would have to be out. It would have to be popular. I don't know if I think it's going to be burned bright and fast, I would hope. But it's good. It's good. Maybe the sequel will be released. I hope they have a sequel for Halloween. So here's the question I'm sure some of you have. If it's so bad, especially at the beginning, why would I keep watching it, right? And really, again, as I said, so many times I was like, what am I watching? Well, the first thing that kept me watching is James Wan. I know he's got the goods, and I knew he had to have had a reason for making this movie. 2, the movie is so stylistic that the cool visuals, right from the start, really pull you in. He tries so many different things, and he rarely repeats himself. Even some of the things I'll be like, no, you can repeat that. I thought that was cool. He's like, no, I'm moving on to the next cool visual. And I want to really just emphasize how cool the visuals are, but I don't want to tell you any specifics because I don't want to ruin them. They were all great surprises. I would describe it as a really good campy 70s horror movie, but with today's visual effects, but yet trying to be a campy 70s horror. Like sometimes you're like, I can clearly tell that's not a real building. I can clearly tell that's VFX. And James Wan's like, I know, I did that intentionally. And you're like, interesting. And you kind of it pulls you in, and you really, again, if you were willing to go along with the flow, it's really cool. And 3 is super scary. You guys know that I'm a little bit of a wuss when it comes to scary movies. And I was scared. I was super scared. Not just with the tension and jump scares, which I know I like them. That's James Wan's specialty. But I also thought the movie was just genuinely disturbing and had a very good mystery, which I could not guess. I mean, I had an inkling on some things, but they always managed to push it further than I thought they would, which was really cool. And the movie, as I said, is gory. Don't eat while you're watching the film, particularly that opening credit sequence. I watched, I would say, at least a third of this movie behind my hands. And not just, like getting a good look. I would say for some sequences, I actually just kind of like peeked around the corner just so I could see like a corner of the screen. I was like, this is very scary. But again, it was fun scary. It was like going to a Halloween maze or a Halloween experience. It was fun. And I think the camp added to that. You're like, this movie's ridiculous, but in a fun way. So I can't tell you about the story, so how about we talk about the actors? Annabelle Wallis. I liked the Annabelle movie she starred in. It's nowhere, it's a pales in comparison to this. Some of you might be like, well, if you like that movie, why would I like this? This is Conjuring level. We'll talk about that in a few moments. And we've seen her in a couple other places, but she'll be well known for this role. She's very well cast, very game, and she's the most talented actor in the film. Maddie Hassan, who has the super horror movie name of Sydney Lake, I was like, that's your name? She at first is just awful, but she really grew on me as the movie progressed. Then there's George Young as Detective Shaw, who actually reminds me a lot of James Wan. I was like, is that you in the movie, James Wan? He also is just so bad when the movie starts. I was like, are these professional actors? But he has this incredible chase scene in the movie, and I was like, that guy's a hero. I mean, I totally won me over to him. And, I bet that's the point of that sequence. It was incredible. Nicole Brianna White, as his partner, does a great job chewing scenery. And I would say this is not only an instant camp class. There are other actors in the movie, but I don't want to ruin anything. This is not only not big cameos. Don't think it's anything like that. But, just watch the movie. And I would say this is not only, in my opinion, an instant camp classic, but a camp film that mainstream audiences, again, if they're open to it, can appreciate and enjoy. I don't really like 70s camp horror movies, to be honest with you. I don't get the appeal. But this I like, because James Wan, again, as I said, is a good businessman. He's a crazy genius. I would say this is tied with the Conjuring films that he directed, but what's so cool about it is that it's the complete opposite of those movies. Like, he really did just go and not only go in the complete opposite direction, but with gusto. I hope audiences appreciate, or enough of an audience appreciates, this bold swing, because I'd be really curious to see how they could set up a sequel, which is teased. I mean, I don't know how they could top this or where they could go, but I think they clearly have some ideas. Actually, James Wan and his wife are two of the people who came up with the concept for this movie. Now, should you see it in theaters or HBO Max? I think it's really up to where you feel comfortable going. I I think in both cases it would be fun. I mean, again, I watched it by myself, had a great time. But, I really want to talk to people about it. I think it would be fun to watch it with a group at home or in a theater, but as long as people are going to be cool. If someone's going to be a hater, and you know who's going to be a hater on a movie like this, just be like, hey, let's do something tomorrow. Tonight I'm watching Malignant. Don't watch it with a hater. They're going to be a real buzzkill. Someone can't be like, oh, this is ridiculous. It's stupid. I'm out of here. They have to be like, this is ridiculous. What could possibly happen next? All right, so that's my review of Malignant, hitting theaters and HBO Max today, September 10th. Share your thoughts down below. Don't go into the comments section unless you've seen the movie. I think someone could spoil it. Subscribe today. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.